On a muggy December afternoon in 1993, the world's most wanted man was staring at a plate of cold spaghetti. For a decade, Pablo Escobar had lived like a king. At the height of the Medellin cartel's power, he supplied 80% of the global cocaine market, smuggling 15 tons of it into the United States every single day. He had billions buried in the Colombian countryside, a private zoo filled with hippos, and an army of sicarios, hitmen, who ruled the streets by a simple law: plata o plomo, accept our silver, or take our lead. But on December 2nd, inside a middle-class safehouse in Medellin, the empire had shrunk to the four walls of a dusty room. Pablo was 44 years old, overweight, and exhausted. The multi-million-dollar rewards on his head had turned old allies into informants. A vigilante group called Los Pepes was systematically murdering his associates, while Search Block, an elite, US-trained Colombian police unit, swept the city block by block. He had only one weapon left, a radio telephone. And it would be his undoing. Despite knowing that the police were scanning the airwaves for his voice, Pablo couldn't stop calling his family. They were trapped under guard at a Bogotá hotel, and he was desperate to find them safe passage out of the country. "Stay strong," he told his son, Juan Pablo, over the static. "I am working on a way." Just a few miles away, an electronic surveillance truck crawled through the Los Olivos neighborhood. Inside, a technician stared at a monitor as the radio signal spiked. "We have a lock," he whispered. For weeks, Pablo had kept his calls under 3 minutes to avoid triangulation. But today, consumed by anxiety for his children, he stayed on the line too long. The signal mapped directly to a 2-story row house. Minutes later, heavily armed search block officers surrounded the block. They kicked in the front door, the crash echoing through the quiet street. Pablo's lone bodyguard opened fire but was instantly cut down. Realizing he was cornered, Pablo sprinted up the stairs and kicked open a window, scrambling onto the steep orange tile roof. He was barefoot, wearing blue jeans and a blue t-shirt, a Sig Sauer pistol gripped in his hand. Bullets punched through the brick and shattered the roof tiles around him. He ran along the ridge, looking for an alleyway to drop into, but the gunfire was relentless. 3 bullets struck him, 1 in the leg, 1 in the torso, and the fatal shot, a bullet that entered just behind his right ear. Pablo Escobar collapsed onto the tiles, the roof staining red beneath him. Within minutes, soldiers crowded around the body, grinning and raising their rifles in victory for a historic photograph. The billionaire outlaw who had held an entire nation hostage to terror was gone, brought down not by a massive military invasion, but by a brief slip of discipline, and a phone call to his son.